The opioid epidemic is affecting all types of people, wealthy, homeless, old, and young. Last year, the mayor of Safford, Arizona lost his 25-year-old son to an opioid overdose. Now, he and his wife are using their heartbreak to make a difference.
My name is Jason Kouts, and I'm the mayor of the city of Safford.
I am the associate pastor here at the river.
Jason and Maria Kouts are leaders in a town of less than 10,000 people.
1 week after graduation, we got married. And then 4 months later, I got pregnant with Josiah.
Josiah was their oldest son. He grew up playing sports, making straight A's, always with an army of friends.
He seemed to live like the perfect life. Everyone loved him. He just didn't have a whole lot of struggles.
He went to Mesa Community College, but it wasn't long before his perfect life started to shatter.
And the next thing that we knew, he was there about 6 months, and we got a call from a friend, and they said, Josiah's 90 pounds. He's not going to college, and he's just stuck in his apartment. We're like, what?
I was just chasing after saving the community, saving the world, if you may, and yet I failed on my own home front.
Josiah was hooked on heroin. Jason and Maria brought him back to Safford right away, starting a series of detoxes, treatments, and near-death experiences over the next few years.
We wanted our kid to get clean. We wanted him to get off of the drug. We wanted him to have a normal life because we thought we were normal. We were normal.
The normalcy finally came after Josiah went through his last rehab in Phoenix, then moved to Paris following the love of his life. He spent a year learning the language in the city so his first foreign job could be a tour guide.
This is Josiah. He was so driven.
Things were looking up for Josiah, but the cravings returned, and before long, his marriage was over. The 25-year-old returned to Safford, started working again, and saved all his money to go on a cross-country road trip with friends. After a month on the road,
and Josiah came back to Safford, spent the night. The next day, he slept all day.
It was January 22nd, 2018. They had family time that night. The last night they'd have that chance. Josiah didn't show up for work again the next day, so when Jason got home, Maria asked him to go check on Josiah. He worried, slowly making his way up the stairs. Josiah's room was locked, but Jason pried his way in.
This is forever burned and etched into my mind and in my memory. And there he was, off the side of the bed, face like this, kind of crunched over. And I run, I just start screaming. I touch him, I make sure that there's no pulse and the body is as cold as ice.
You were screaming, he's dead. No, Josiah, he's dead.
And I just started screaming, and I don't know what to do. I'm just like running around in circles. And I'm screaming, I'm coming down, and I'm yelling and screaming, and Maria's all, what? And she's like panicked herself, and then she runs up there, and she's just holding her lifeless son.
Lifeless after using a $5 bump of heroin laced with fentanyl.
And when they showed it to me, I said, you've got to be kidding me. That is not what killed my son.
The life-ending dose came from a high school acquaintance who warned Josiah over text message how strong it was.
The young man had told Josiah, only do 75% of it because it's fire. And he put little fires, like 5 little fires across there.
The Kouts say Josiah's death is helping the Safford community push through the opioid epidemic.
I think because of the stigma was always that it's not my family. My family has to appear to be perfect. My family has to, we're a small community and it's a religious community. And so religion tends to make people want to appear to be perfect instead of real.
And that's what's making an impact on people who go to church with Jason and Maria.
Before Jason and Maria, I was overwhelmed and I felt so helpless. Like, I have a lot of family members who are lost in addiction, and I had no idea how to help them until Jason and Maria came alongside me and I could ask them questions.
Even while helping others, there's still internal guilt Jason copes with every day.
I would say I'm sorry. I was so mean to him. I was the boss. I was the dad. There was times we butted heads at work, and I would yell and I would scream and I'd cuss at him.
Jason's tough love turning softer, as the pain and guilt motivate the Kouts family to carry Josiah's legacy.
I see a book, and it's a large book, and 37 pages of the book were written up by Josiah himself. But his book is not going to stop turning as long as I'm on this earth. It's going to still be written out. It wasn't for nothing that my son was born. It wasn't for nothing that what my son went through and what we've gone through in our lives. I will finish his book if it's the last thing I do.
Jason and Maria started a nonprofit after Josiah's death, and they plan to open Josiah House, which would be the first 24-hour rehab center for people struggling with substance abuse in Safford.